You may now take your seats. Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya and Commander-in-Chief of Defense Forces, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, COG Chair, Madam Anne Waiguru, the 6 sitting women governors, Governor Nairobi Johnson Sakaja, former governors present, Cabinet Secretary Gender, Culture, the Arts and Heritage, Aisha Jumwa, all Cabinet Secretaries and Cabinet Principal Secretaries present, ambassadors, all national and international leaders present, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. With your permission, Your Excellency, I will invite Meru Governor Kawira Mwangaza to start us with the word of prayer, and I'm requesting that we all be upstanding for the word of prayer. Tusimameni tafadhali. Welcome, Madam.
Heavenly Father, in the mighty name of Jesus, we bless you this morning. You are awesome God. You reign forever. We pray for the blessings this morning. We pray that you give us divine grace. We pray for the women leadership, my Father, as we begin the meeting. We are also praying and reminding that our number of 7 women elected governors, O Jehovah God, to increase it by thy grace to more than 24. We pray this in Jesus' mighty name. Amen.
With your permission, Your Excellency, now you may take your seats. I now invite Commissioner Lichuma, who will take us through the overview of the G7 strategy. Madam Lichuma, karibu.
Your Excellency, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, President of the Republic of Kenya and Commander-in-Chief of the Defense Forces, Excellency Governors present today, Cabinet Secretaries present, Excellency Ambassadors and Heads of Missions, Honorable Members of Parliament, Kenyan Women Parliamentary Association, members of the Diplomatic Corps, national county government officials, private sector and civil society representatives, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Good morning. Wamama oi. Wamama oye. Thank you very much. This is a day for the women of Kenya. I am here to do a very brief presentation on the G7 strategy. As we can see, in 2022, we managed to get 7 women governors. 2013, when we first received the Constitution, we went around this country campaigning, Your Excellency, but we got 0 women elected. It was a doom for the women of Kenya. 2017, we managed the pioneer 3 women governors. Those in the room, can we have you standing? I can see one. The 3 pioneer governors, thank you. Yes, they're there. In 2017, Your Excellency, we managed 7 governors. Where are the 7? Can we see you? Those are the governors, Your Excellency, that are going to take this country to places. we put together a G7 strategy. G actually just standing for the governors. And in this strategy, we want to galvanize this country so that we see the women leadership bringing in what we desire. Quickly, I'll take just 5 minutes of the time to take you through the rationale of the G7 strategy. We hope that in this, we can enhance the participation and representation of women. Of course, we only have 7. We are aiming at 16 and more. Is that so? Yes. So we have then a strategy here that walks us that journey towards the next election. So we have 4 pillars, and in the first tier, we are seeing that we need to facilitate the retention, re-election, and transition of these women governors to the next level. Now, political figures with national influence of appeal, we can see on the platform there, and in this category, we still do not have a woman. We hope in the next election we will get a woman. Political party leadership and regional kingship is still heavily male-oriented. Parliamentary leadership, we have a bit of both men and women, and notable elected members and governors, we have both men and women, but the women numbers are still very, very limited. So the overall objective of the strategy of the G7, Your Excellency, and the members present in the room is first to enhance the women governors' political influence and leadership at the national and at the county level. Yes, they are elected at the county level, but we are looking at a situation where they also play politics at the national level. And this is a bipartisan women politician caucus. It's bringing together all the women leadership, their parties notwithstanding. The G7 are standing around those values: collaboration, partnership, integrity, equality, equity, inclusion, innovation, and professionalism. The vision is to have transforming society through visionary leadership to deliver the devolution promise. Of course, we have the devolution promise, and the mission is we're going to model women governors as transformative leaders and champions of inclusive political representation and participation. Your Excellency, members, the motto is women leadership, redefining the devolution agenda. The epitome of devolution we are seeing in the 7 women that are seated before us. Our clarion call is G7 as we have it now to G16 and beyond 16. This strategy has 4 pillars. And the first pillar is socio-economic development. How can we be the champions of ensuring economic development goes side by side with political development? We have the political strategy, and this is where we want to move the women to have more women in the political leadership. Good governance, accountability, and access to justice. And we want to strengthen ourselves as institutional capacity in terms of what we deliver. Now, we see us moving to the next level, and we have the key result areas. One is strategic leadership in gender mainstreaming, gender-responsive planning and mainstreaming and budgeting, ending gender-based violence, empowerment of vulnerable groups within society, compliance with international and regional reporting, accountability and access to justice, political leadership and representation in decision-making, gender-responsive programming, which then leads us to the role of this team. We have done the launch today as we're going to have it. We want to invest in communication and branding, civic education programs, monitoring and evaluation so that we see results of what we have, joint resource mobilization, and the G structure and organogram that creates unity of purpose in terms of what we want to do. The quick gains we look at is the post-launch dissemination of this strategy, the G7 Caucus being established, developing leadership and mentorship programs aspiring to women leadership, dispute resolution mechanisms that are strong, using an advisory council, data and statistics, looking at 2024 as the baseline, and the interagency, intergovernmental relations forums that will support these KEWOS at the Senate, KEWOPA in Parliament, Women CS, PSS, MCS, and all the women of Kenya. What are the expectations from this strategy as we launch, members, Your Excellency? First is to provide women-led counties with development programs that support inclusive programming. 2 is to support the implementation of this program so that it becomes a reality. 3 is technical and financial support, which we'll be calling from yourselves and the partners that are in the room. And 4 is supporting capacity building initiatives, because this is where we want to be. And 5 is monitoring and evaluation. That is the strategy for the G7 that we are about to launch. I thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Lechima, for taking us through the overview of the G7 strategy. Allow me now to welcome Nairobi Governor, Honorable Johnson Sakaja. Karibu.
Asante sana, Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya, Excellency Governors and distinguished leaders. Allow me to ride on the protocols already established. Wamama hoe. Wamama hai. Hi, there's a bit more energy in the room. Today is a great day. Wamama hai. Ama nijaribu na wababa. Kuna wababa kadhaa. Your Excellency and distinguished leaders, it is indeed quite a privilege and honor and a joy on behalf of the people of Nairobi for us to be hosting this function today in Nairobi. Thank you for choosing the county of Nairobi. You could have done this anywhere in the country, but I'm sure you chose Nairobi not because of convenience, but because you are sure there's a governor who supports this cause in the county of Nairobi. Your Excellency and my colleague governors will tell you, starting with my big sister Anne Waiguru, whom we really look up to. You know, you've shown exemplary leadership, you know, at the Council of Governors, and you've had a long journey with you from when we worked in the National Treasury. Cecily Mbarire, you know, with the indefatigable spirit, you know, a jewel in the east of Mount Kenya. Gladys Wanga, you know, who is setting the pace in many, many respects, being the first woman governor in her region, you know, and we were together in National Assembly and worked even later together. Of course, my sister Susan, former super senator, now super governor, doing amazing in Nakuru. Mheshimiwa Achani, you know, we're proud of you. Being elected in a Muslim, you know, county where previously, you know, religious limitations would not have had you there, and you've set the pace such that we've seen even in Marsabit now they're endorsing a lady to become governor, and you're paving the way for many more. Hongera sana. Of course, the unbeatable, the resilient, the indefatigable Kawira Mwangaza. You know, tomorrow my daughter will tell me she can be anything she wants to be in this country, whether or not it is political, because she will not know any glass ceiling or any limitation. Whether she wants to be president, whether she wants to be a doctor, whether she wants to be a governor, it will not be a strange thing. So we must applaud the women who've been there, who've set the pace. Of course, Mama wetu Charity Ngilu. We recognize you. Thank you. Thank you so much for paving the way from being the first woman presidential candidate in 1997. Masania Mama na Masania Ngilu. Many times you may not know what your individual actions reflect to people in society who may never meet you, who may never get a chance to say thank you, but you inspired a generation, and that is why the ladies to your left are where they are today. When President Obama came to Kenya in his second term, he said that when you exclude women from education, from opportunities, and from leadership, then you're only playing with half of the team. And how do you expect to win with only half of the team on the pitch? It is not only absurd, it is dumb. We need to have, and I must say that our claim to democracy as a country is tainted when half of the team is not on the table. I'm very proud that the women of Kenya, in various aspects, have decided to wake up from the slumbers of apathy to the pains and joys of national consciousness, and you've refused to watch your destiny pass you by. Many times, and I will blame us as men, many times, not just in politics, but even in business, but even in the corporate world, we've made it seem that the biggest obstacle for women in excelling and getting to the top is your femininity. And many times we tell you, be like a man. I want to say there's nothing that is farther from the truth. The flavor that women leadership adds is much needed. That beyond numbers and beyond budgets, your compassion sees faces. Your compassion sees people. So please don't try and say that for you to win these seats, mukue kama wanaume, jikaze kama wanaume, hapana kuwa kama mama. Because ni mama ndo tunahitaji. Nikimalizia kwa sababu wa muda, I am very happy that this G7 strategy is going to be done chronologically, starting with county 1 till 47. So by the time you get to 47, nitakuwa nimemaliza. So mkianza kuongeza idadi ya wamama, tafadhali muanzie number 1, 2, 3, ndo mumalizie Nairobi. And we will support because, and that's on a light touch, I am a he for she champion. I have been he for she champion since I was a member of the National Assembly when I brought the amendments of what we today have as AGPO, of 30% procurement opportunities for women, for youth, and for persons with disability. I'm proud of that legislation. I was a he for she champion in the Senate, you know, not just legislating, but once, Your Excellency, there was a controversy when I led the Kewopa delegation to the CSW, and I said, issues of gender are not men versus women. You need male champions as well to believe in this agenda. And the minute you get men who believe in this agenda, like my brother Kimani Ichung'wah, who is here as a leader of majority, then you can make them put their money where the mouth is when they go to the floor of parliament, when we're talking about the 2/3 gender rule, and we're talking about all other interventions. I must recognize my sister Beatrice Alachi, who has just come in. She's, I think, my only woman MP in Nairobi County. Out of 17, please let's appreciate Mheshimiwa Alachi. So asanteni sana, please feel at home. Nairobi is a very gender responsive county. And I know one day in future, especially after 9 or so years, we will have a woman governor in Nairobi who I will support with all my heart. As we move from G7, you know, G16 hata ni kidogo. I think we can do better. And if we commit, and I want to say this without any fear of contradiction, to especially target, because, you know, we sit in the Council of Governors together, hatuwezi pangia wenzetu, si ndio? If we target the counties where men and women even, but men have done 2 terms, si tuanze na hizo. Ndio sasa tukuje tuwasupport kwa hizo counties watu wamefanya term 2, ndio tuendelee. Tusiwezi kuja hapa kujipotezea kazi. Na wapenda sana. Nairobi tunasema tuna walombo tov. May God bless you. And kweli na walombo tov kabisa. Sorry? Oh, sorry. I had not seen Governor Wavinya. Yes, Governor Wavinya. Pole sana, Governor Wavinya. That is our neighbor in Nairobi. We work very closely together. She's also, with a serious fighting spirit. Welcome, Your Excellency, Governor Wavinya. Kwa hiyo mengi, karibuni sana Nairobi. Hii ni siku yenu, sio siku yetu kama wanaume. Thank you, Excellency, for making time for the ladies. Hawakuniambia dress code, but I can see you look so good in your purple tie. Unawezanga hata ungevaa ile kaunda ya purple, but najua uko na cabinet after this. May God bless you and enjoy.
Allow me now to welcome Ann Mutavati, Country Representative, UN Women.
His Excellency William Samoei Ruto, President of the Republic of Kenya and Commander-in-Chief of the Kenya Defence Forces. Let me also recognize Honorable Aisha Juma Katana, Cabinet Secretary, Gender, Culture, the Arts and Heritage. I also recognize the women governors, the 7 women governors who bring us here today. Let me also proceed to stand on the protocol already established. Good morning and happy International Women's Day in advance. It is my honor and pleasure to join all of you today on this occasion as we launch the first ever strategy for women governors in Kenya, popularly known as the G7 strategy that we have heard about today. Congratulations again. Your election, Excellencies, in 2022 and the launch of this strategy will go down all the corridors of history on women's political leadership in this country and on the continent and in the whole world. I'm really honored and proud to witness this moment. My sisters, yours is an admirable journey of resilience, of courage, and determination. Each one of you weaving your own story in a unique and very special way, defying insurmountable odds that include cultural, social, and religious barriers, even financial barriers, political barriers, to emerge as winners in one of Kenya's most competitive elections to date. Indeed, your election and accession to office has clearly demonstrated why we need to have more women in leadership. Your track records already and exemplary performance in executing your development agenda, as demonstrated in public opinion surveys, has been nothing but commendable. I urge you all to continue with the same momentum to deliver on the devolution promise for the women, girls, men and boys of this country. Further, I call on you to explore opportunities of peer-to-peer learning and experience sharing on transformative leadership and forge a united front to address challenges that face women political leaders today. Now, allow me to take this moment to congratulate the government of Kenya through your leadership, Your Excellency, for renewed efforts to advance women's political leadership and leading by example, by entrusting women with senior positions both in your government and in the ruling party. For example, we acknowledge that Honorable Cecily Mbarire is the chairperson of the UDA party. Yes. We also acknowledge your support to our excellencies, the governors, the 7 governors, and thank you for supporting their cause by being our chief guest today. Most importantly, Your Excellency, we appreciate your leadership and your commitment to the implementation of the not more than 2/3 gender rule in your term. Excellency, thank you very much. As we celebrate the 2024 International Women's Day, the most perfect gift that you can give to the women of this country is to ensure that we legislate for the 2/3 gender bill, yes, which has been elusive for the past 13 years. I reassure you that UN Women's support to this quest, and will continue to work with your very able Cabinet Secretary here, Honorable Aisha Juma, in this in this and many other interventions to advance gender equality and empowerment of women in this country. As I end, I would like to wish all of us a happy International Women's Day and hope that we support the women governors as they deliver on the commitment and promise that they are making today. Asanteni sana.
Allow me now to invite Sebastian Tia, Country Director, Oxfam, Kenya. Karibu.
Your Excellency, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, the President of the Republic of Kenya, Commander-in-Chief of the Defense Forces, Your Excellence, the Governors, Your Excellence, representatives of the diplomatic missions, Cabinet Secretaries, representatives from the county government, civil society organizations, and private sector, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Please accept apologies from the Interim Country Director for Oxfam in Kenya, Sebastian Tia, who would have loved to be with us here today, but he sends his best wishes to the governors for the launch of this strategy. 12 months ago, when we started this journey, in a room with the governors, representatives from the Council of Governors, Oxfam in Kenya and Oxfam US, we had a vision, but we didn't know this vision would be this big. We have received unwavering support and goodwill from the different stakeholders that we have engaged, including the grassroots women that are here today. And this day would not have been possible without all of you, and we appreciate this support. Oxfam is a global movement of people fighting inequality to end poverty and injustice. In Oxfam, we put women at the heart of everything that we do, in recognition of the existing patriarchal structures, institutions, practices, customs, norms, values, and attitudes and beliefs that are barriers to the achievement of women's rights and the rights of all the people. A reality that the governors have to contend with every day as they serve the Kenyans in their different counties. We believe that a just society is not possible unless women and girls have agency over their lives, and that the society needs to challenge harmful social norms and belief systems to ensure that we fully realize their rights. And so, in our quest to achieve gender justice, we work to ensure that women in leadership positions across different sectors have equal recognition and are shaping public policy, including decision-making. We believe that women and girls face discrimination and injustice. It is both a cause and a result of inequality that drives poverty. Therefore, we focus on transformative leadership that advances women's participation, leadership, and rights. It is for this reason that Oxfam, through our work on transformative leadership for women's rights, we were honored to partner with the Council of Governors and the Women Governors and to embark on this journey of developing the Women's Governors Caucus strategy, the G7 strategy. The strategy is our act of standing in solidarity with the women governors in their leadership, to facilitate access to strategic and structured support and resources from different development partners who are here today and those that are joining us virtually, and different stakeholders to enable them to effectively execute their mandates as governors, and also challenge the existing retrogressive narratives that exist on women leadership. We acknowledge that the achievement of women's full rights is a complex and socioeconomic and political process. It demands diverse, positive, and sustained changes in policy, practices, resource allocation, attitudes, beliefs, and power relationships. Together, these changes have the potential to lead to transformed societies where women and other marginalized groups can fully achieve their rights. It is for this reason that we also take this opportunity to send a plea to all the stakeholders gathered here today and those that are joining the event virtually to extend their support to the governors, because this strategy needs all of us to come to fruition. This strategy is definitely a game changer to the political landscape of this country, and you all don't want to be left out of this historical moment. The launch is just the beginning. The difficult path lies ahead where the strategy needs to be implemented and significant resources are needed. As Oxfam, both in country and globally, we continue to pledge our unwavering support to the women governors and the Council of Governors in the implementation of this strategy. We believe this strategy is the vessel to achieving gender parity in political leadership in Kenya. Thank you very much.
The next speaker is a former governor and was among the first women to be elected in the country as governors. Let's put our hands together and welcome former Kitui Governor, Honorable Charity Ngilu.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, President of the Republic of Kenya and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, Your Excellencies, Madam Governor Anne Waiguru, my colleague before I left, and now the Chair of Council of Governors, Madam Cicely Berire, Governor of Embu, and indeed, the leader of the ruling party, UDA. And this is what we always advocate for. Your Excellencies, Homa Bay Governor, and a person I met when you were extremely young and still in college, Your Excellency, Madam Susan Kihika, Your Excellencies, Madam Chale Wale, Your Excellencies Vavinya Ndeti Machakos, Your Excellencies Kawira Mangaza Meru, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Today is a great day for us as the women of Kenya. And really, I want to first thank Your Excellency for gracing this occasion. Being here shows how much you support the women of Kenya and how far you want them to go. For us women, when we are supported this way, we really got to take this with both hands and to make sure that this G7 that has started today and strategy being launched today can go a long way in increasing the number of women in leadership in this country. When you work with the women, as Governor Sakaja has said, if you work with half in the field, half the team, you cannot achieve as much as you should achieve. So women need to be involved in every sphere of development. And I want to ask Your Excellency Anne Waiguru, we are talking about increasing the numbers to 16, but may I ask that we should increase the numbers to 25, if not 47, having women governors in the 47 counties will really help the president to go forward. And indeed, let's start looking at the government itself, making sure that whoever president will be there will get 50% of his cabinet or her cabinet to be women. We must not be apologetic to what we want. And I want to assure you, Your Excellency, by the way, if you have more women in leadership, they will help you carry a lot of the work that you are doing. They will help you, and very well indeed. You'll be freer than you are today. Women, I think there is something I want to say here about politics. Something is worrying me very much. We women have seen here that we are going to make sure that we will work across political divide. All parties, we as women must come together and ensure that whatever party you are in, we will support you where you are. What for me has shocked me in the last few days is the new handshake, Your Excellency. And I thank you for supporting Baba to become the AU chair. But you cannot take him alone. He has many other people with him. He had many, many people with him. And I still need to understand, and I'll study this a little bit, to understand how this works amongst male leadership. Women don't do that. Since I haven't known how it works, I'll continue to learn how it works. For us right now today, we must make sure we increase the number of women. We go to the grassroots. Let's not leave it at the governor's level. We'll go to the grassroots level. We'll increase the number of women who are there. We'll identify them. We'll make sure that they are trained, they have got skills. We'll build confidence in them and ensure that we know the wards they are going to run. Increase the number of MCAs. Increase the number of women members of parliament. Increase the number of women governors. Increase the number of all women in their places. And of course, the final seat is the presidential seat. Don't run away from it. Women want it like yesterday. So, Your Excellency, the best you can now do, and I want to ask this for the women in office and out of the office, please help these women to mobilize resources to get to the villages and to ensure that women can be empowered enough. I want to say that I didn't know I was going to be asked to speak, but I'm happy you have given me an opportunity to say something. Governor Sakaja, Nairobi ni yako, lakini sioni wanawake vizuri hapa Nairobi. Tafadhali weka wanawake tuwaone. You cannot talk about he for she and we are not seeing it. You must walk the talk. And I'll be on your case. Your Excellency, and Anwar Iguru, please, Governor, be on the President's case and make sure that we keep in on his toes to ensure that we have the numbers. I want to thank you very much for inviting me to say a few words. Please, women, young women governors, shine and shine and shine for Kenya. Asante sana. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Gilu. Allow me now to welcome Majority Leader, National Assembly, Honorable Kimani Ichung'wah. Let's put our hands together and welcome him to come and make his remarks. Karibu.
Thank you, Your Excellency, the President, the G7 governors, ladies and the few gentlemen in the room, good morning. Your Excellency, it is indeed a great honor to be before such a gracious congregation of very many beautiful ladies, led by these very hardworking, transformative, and visionary governors in the G7 group. Your Excellency, let me begin with a confession, and I know you have also said it. At one point, I did mention to you that if we had occasion to have a referendum in this country, as we talk about G7 and moving on to G16, as the G7 has proposed, it was also my proposal that should we ever have an occasion to amend our constitution through a referendum, because it's a referendum question, we should probably have the governor's seat preserved and reserved for women. And Your Excellency, I say that not just because I'm a father to 4 beautiful girls. And let me also disclose this morning, Your Excellency, that in my house, besides my wife and the 4 girls, my eldest daughter has a pet, which also happens to be female. So when in the last general elections last year, but one, Your Excellency, there was a loose grouping that called itself the Future is Female. They had a patron, and Governor Susan Kihika happened to name me as a patron of the Future is Female movement within the Kenya Kwanza and UDA grouping. Your Excellency, I'm indeed honored that today our party chair is none other than Governor Cecily Mbaride. And for us to be able to realize, Your Excellency, an incremental number of women governors, I think it will begin with political parties. And looking at the strategy that the G7 Caucus has adopted, I think the party you lead as party leader UDA has led from the front, with chair of our party being Cecily Mbarire, and the endeavor to have more women governors must begin from our political parties, and more so in the nomination of political party candidates in our strongholds. Let us make sure that we nominate more women for governor seats. And I want to challenge the G7 caucus that moving from 7 to 16 is not good enough for me. We probably should target 30 to 36 governors, so that if we falter, then we can get to the 16 that you are targeting. But I want to assure you that it is indeed possible. Your Excellency, if you saw that the vision that this caucus has, transforming society through visionary leadership that will deliver on the promise of devolution, I have no doubt in my mind, Your Excellency, that that promise of devolution can and will indeed be achieved through transformative and visionary leadership coming from our women governors. And I say this, Your Excellency, because if you look at Schedule 4 of our Constitution, many of the functions that were delegated to our devolved governments or devolved units, Your Excellency, be it the provision of water, be it healthcare, are issues that are core and are the heart of not just our women leaders, but women in the country. And these women leaders, Your Excellency, I have to say from my experience over the last many years that I have served with many of them, and I think I have worked with many of these governors currently here, Governor Kawera, Governor Achani, Governor Susan Kihika, Governor Wanga, Governor Cecily. We worked with them in the National Assembly. And Your Excellency, you also remember Governor Achani was a deputy governor. And many a times in general elections when governors are choosing their running mates, it was assumed that women would be nominated as deputy governors as flower girls. Governor Achani actually has exemplified that women are not just flower girls to the male governors, that they can indeed succeed their governors as deputy governors, and she has exemplified that very well. When last elections we said, hatu achani na achani. And I was in Kwale, Your Excellency, I campaigned for all these women governors, and my other confession, Your Excellency, you know you are all in Kenya Kwanza, but this women agenda transcends even political parties. Governor Gladys Wanga. I must confess, I did assist Governor Gladys Wanga in the last elections, and I truly campaigned for her, even being in ODM, Your Excellency. And I know this women agenda will transcend our political party affiliations. Let us support our women candidates without looking at our political party affiliations. And I am certain, Your Excellency, it is possible to transform this country using visionary women leaders. Your Excellency, these women, I must tell you, from my experience again, I have come to discover that women leaders are less corrupt. And it is a fact. They are more caring, they are more empathetic, and definitely more loving than us, as men, with the exception of yourself, Your Excellency, because you have been the champion #1 of the women cause. And I remember in the last general election how well you supported all our women candidates, including these governors who are here, and including the Honorable Aisha Jumwa, who now sits in a very special place, advancing the women cause as the Minister in charge of gender affairs. And Your Excellency, in conclusion, let me assure you and assure this gathering that within the National Assembly, we will not only support those of our members in the National Assembly, and I see many of them here who are eyeing governor seats. I know Governor Sakaja indicated that it would be chronological and suggested that we should probably begin with those male governors who are serving their second term. But I want to tell you, it is free for all. Any county, whether a governor is serving their first term or their second term, those seats will fall vacant when the elections are called. Go for any seat, including that of Governor Sakaja. And I know he's doing a great job in Nairobi, and many other male governors are doing a great job, but please challenge them. Your Excellency, in conclusion, on the 2/3 gender rule, Your Excellency, you know you have been at the forefront, and you did share with us a memoranda in the National Assembly and in Parliament on actualization of 2/3 gender rule. I want to confirm to Your Excellency, as the Leader of Majority in the National Assembly, that in Parliament we shall do whatever it takes to actualize the 2/3 gender rule this time round. Your Excellency, I am certain we shall be able to achieve that within your administration and have the 2/3 gender rule become a reality. With those many remarks, congratulations, ladies, on the launch of this G7. You know, G7 came from the group of 7 countries that were the most advanced economies. I hope these 7 governors will also lead the 7 most advanced counties in our country. And let me congratulate all of them, because I have seen, at least I have toured each of their counties, including Machakos, and Kwale, Nakuru, Homa Bay, Embu, and Your Excellency, all these governors are doing extremely well, and I must say, way above our male colleagues. And I want to ask them to keep up. They stick to their plan, and they deliver to the people. Thank you, and may God bless you.
It's now my pleasure to invite National Assembly Deputy Speaker Gladys Boschele to say a word. Let's put our hands together and welcome her.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya, Dr. William Ruto, Your Excellencies, the governors here present, especially the women governors, led by the chairperson of the Council of Governors. It gives me great pride to be here today when you launch this amazing program and strategy. I know I've walked the journey with you and attended a lot of the meetings, and it's very timely because this is Women's Month this year. And in fact, actually, tomorrow I shall be speaking at Oxford University to celebrate Women's Day, and one of my slides is actually this slide, that I will be explaining about the great work that the women governors have done. You have seen that everyone is speaking about the great work that the women governors have done. And I'm glad that, Your Excellency, you have endorsed the fact that we should reserve the seat of governors for women. I think this country will go great places. Thank you very much, and God bless you. Asante.
I now invite Cabinet Secretary, Ministry of Gender, Culture, the Arts and Heritage, Honorable Aisha Jumwa.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, Your Excellency, the Chairperson of the Council of Governors and the Governor of Kirinyaga County, Honorable Anne Waiguru, Excellencies, the Governors, Honorable Susan Kihika, Honorable Gladys Wanga, Honorable Cecil Mbarire, Honorable Fatuma Achani, Honorable Kawera Mwangaza, Honorable Wavinya Ndeti. Fellow Cabinet Secretaries present, PSS present, members of the Diplomatic Corps present, UN Women Representative in Kenya, Ms. Anne Mutavati, members of the National Assembly and Senate present, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. What a morning. I am truly delighted to be part of this historical launch of the G7 Women's Caucus strategy on the eve of the 2024 International Women's Day, whose theme, Invest in Women, Accelerate Progress, is so relevant for today's launch. I want, in a special way, to congratulate you, my sisters, for this noble initiative. You are true trailblazers. Your resilience, passion, focus, and tireless efforts has been inspiring to watch. Your Excellency, Mr. President, sir, I applaud your efforts and commitment towards the inclusion of women in leadership, representation, and decision-making spaces in Kenya. Through your leadership, today, Kenya has the highest number of women governors since the promulgation of the 2010 Constitution. And out of the 7 governors, 4 are from the political party where you serve as the leader. And you are now supporting all without boundaries. This would not have been possible without your unwavering support, Your Excellency. Beyond supporting the women governors to be elected, just last week in Homa Bay County, at the investment conference, you affirmed women governors' leadership as being transformative. And as your Cabinet Secretary for Gender Affairs, I can confirm your commitment to advancing women leadership in Kenya, which inspires hope that under your leadership, Kenya will actually surpass the G7 Caucus aspirations of moving from 7 to 16 women governor in the next election cycle. Further, you have led from the front on the implementation of the not more than 2/3 gender principle. First, through your memo to Parliament, and the second, by ensuring the implementation of the not more than 2/3 gender principle was an integral part of the National Dialogue Committee process. Your Excellency, sir, within the Ministry of Gender, Culture, the Arts and Heritage, I continue to spearhead robust policies and legal frameworks and strategic initiatives to ensure the gender agenda is at the core of the implementation of the bottom-up transformation agenda, popularly known as BETTER. Through a multi-agency approach, we are making good progress towards the implementation of Women's Charter, which you committed to. And tomorrow, during the International Women's Day event in Embu, we will share this progress. As we launch the G7 Caucus today, I wish to confirm to you, my sisters, that the aspirations and the objectives of the caucus align with those of the Ministry of Gender, and I stand ready to support you. I am hopeful that working together as a team at the national and the county levels, the promise of gender equality is now within the reach. In conclusion, one thing is clear: investing in women and girls leads to sustainable development and create a future where all women and girls around the world are allowed to rise and reach their full potential. I am a living testimony of what it means to invest in women and girls. From the sun-swept fishing village of Takaungu to the world. My clarion call is, let us work together for more inclusive, brighter, peaceful, and prosperous future for us all. Once again, congratulations, my sisters, on the launch of this caucus, and count me in. Asanteni sana, Mungu awabariki.
May I now request COG Chair, Madam Anne Waiguru, to make her way to the stage and take over the program. Tumkaribishe kwa makofi.
Wamama hai. Wamama mpo. Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya, Your Excellency, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, PhD, CGH, Excellency Governors, Cabinet Secretaries, all protocols observed. Allow me to invite all my colleagues Semeni woman power. I have just been informed that there is a quick video that is supposed to play before I call my colleagues. It's for 3 minutes. Those who are operating, kindly put the video up.
The Council of Governors, COG, plays a pivotal role in coordinating, convening and advocating for county governments on issues of common interest, including matters of gender equality and women empowerment in intragovernmental and intergovernmental structures such as the Summit, the Intergovernmental Budget and Economic Council, IBEC, and the Devolution Conference. Following the implementation of the current Constitution of Kenya, the inaugural election held in March 2013 brought forth county governments comprising the first cohort of 47 governors who formed the Council of County Governors, COG. Regrettably, no woman governor was elected. However, there were 9 women deputy governors. Subsequently, during the second round of elections held in 2017, 3 women governors were elected. And in the 2022 general election, this number rose to 7 women governors and 8 female deputy governors.
It's really, really important to have more women at the table because I feel or I believe that there are some aspects or perspectives that women bring that may not necessarily be brought to the table if there are no women at the table.
This marked a significant milestone for the Council of Governors with the election of its first female chair, Her Excellency Anne Waiguru, who is now serving a second term. In collaboration with Oxfam in Kenya, the Council embarked on developing a strategy for the Women Governors Caucus, G7. This strategy aims to establish an influential, respected, and high-profile caucus of women governors. Additionally, the G7 strategy is designed to support female governors in showcasing the impact of devolution through transformative leadership, effective governance, and mentorship of women and girls. In this regard, the strategy is anchored on 4 pillars that are crucial to advancing women leadership and fostering inclusion. Socio-economic development pillar emphasizes the critical role of comprehensive, disaggregated cross-sector data on gender and service delivery.
For us as governors and especially female governors, sitting at the decision-making table, we are to move ahead and make sure that we curb the issues of sexual gender-based violence by empowering women. We used to have so many early marriages because the girl child could not be taken to school because of poverty, and even the disabled could not be taken to school because of poverty.
Recognizes that good governance is essential for progress, resting on pillars of transparency, participation, and fairness as enshrined in the Kenyan Constitution.
In order for you to deliver on your development agenda and on the services that you provide to the people, financial stewardship comes first. You must ensure that the resources that come to the county are well utilized in a transparent way and accountable way that people are able to see value for money.
Political strategy. This pillar recognizes that true change does not stop at increased numbers.
You see, as a woman, you must have a strategy. You must know how you want to brand yourself so that you can sell yourself to the people. You must have your ideologies and what you believe in, yeah? And then stick to them.
It is about creating an environment where women can not only participate, but also have their voices heard, their needs addressed, and their leadership recognized as pivotal to shaping the future of devolution in Kenya.
Anytime a woman tries or thinks about joining politics, you must be prepared and be focused, because you'll face a lot of challenges, you'll face a lot of hurdles. You must be focused. As for me, I was so much focused that even after a lot of hindrances, like impeachments and what have you, I still had a vision and mission about the manifesto and the promises that I made to the people of Meru.
Institutional strengthening recognizes the necessity of capacity building at all levels for the Women Governors Caucus to fulfill its mandate, including investing in institutional, organizational, and individual staff resources.
With regard to engaging in training and capacity building, it's very critical for good governance. If you're going to mentor, or if you're going to transfer skills, if you're going to have efficient and effective institutions, training and capacity building has to be a continuous thing that you do.
Additionally, mentorship is highlighted as a key strategic imperative for the development, progression, and empowerment of women leaders.
Transformation is a powerful word. It's not change. You can change without discomfort. But when you want to do transformation, there will be resistance, there will be discomfort, there will be, people refusing, and you need courage to transform. And what is needed in our country is really transformation, where people can't recognize what they left.
As the G7 strategy unfolds, the journey towards gender equality in governance is ignited. A new chapter in Kenya's political narrative, one where women's voices are heard, their contributions valued, and their leadership celebrated.
G7! G7! G7!
Our clarion call is G7 to G16.
Your Excellency, we have just looked at that video, and we know that the people preparing it are planning to take it to CSW. But we have seen some of the shots. Some of us were not looking like we were in a moment of jokand and brouhaha, considering we were in Homa Bay. So we are going to be requesting that that video be redone just a little bit when we look a little bit more vibrant. But you've seen what the G7 is about. Allow me, Your Excellency, very quickly to request all my colleagues to come in front. We will not take more than 10 minutes. Makofi, tafadhali. Your Excellency, I will request my colleagues to each speak for a minute. We've all agreed that we'll be very brief, so I will not be introducing them. I'll just move to the end and come back to make my welcoming remarks. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, the President, and my colleague governors, and really standing on all existing protocol. I see members of KEWOPA here, and tunashukuru sana. Your Excellency, today is really not for us to speak much because a lot has already been said, but I take this opportunity to really thank you for your support for the G7 team, but not just for the G7 team. First, I thank you because you support the G7 indiscriminately. It is not lost on us that we are different. We are from different political parties, but you have not discriminated us on the basis of our political persuasions. And that I must rise here and thank you. And also thank you for coming to Homa Bay last week, despite having a very, very difficult program. That really showed your support. But I'd like to finally really thank you, not just for supporting the women and women leaders, because it's about the women at the grassroots. And the way you have moved to support the women at the grassroots, wale wadogo sana. And to speak from Homa Bay's perspective, you're doing markets, 6 ESP markets, a fish market for women who have been selling fish on the ground and are now going to sell in a place that looks like a city. Your Excellency, you've seen what the lakefront in Homa Bay now looks like. Hizo picha ni za Homa Bay, by the way. Hizo mnaona hapo zikikaa mzuri. It's because of our partnership and for your support for devolution. So tushikane, tusonge mbele pamoja. And we want to also let our people know that as women governors, we are making a commitment. And that is why institutional strengthening, transparency and accountability and governance are also very key pillars of our strategy. We don't want to be the ones to let the country down by people pointing at us and saying, look, see how women are corrupt or are doing this. We are doing our best to ensure that we are standing on strong governance structures so that we can be the shining example. Mheshimiwa Ishungu, asante sana for your support and for coming out clearly. Na boss pia amefuatilia hiyo njia. Hii kiti ya governor, apart from ya Sakaja mwenye ako hapa, zote zikuwe za kina mama. Asante sana and God bless you. I have a message which I will read later from Honorable Dr. Phoebe Mugasio, who was among our trailblazers. She was invited. I will read her message later when there is a bit more time. Asante.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya, all protocols observed. Kina mama hai. Kina mama hai. God is good. And all the time. I'm really excited to be here this morning, and I want to thank His Excellency the President for gracing this occasion. Your presence is a sign that you truly believe in the leadership of women. And let me say that the dream that it is possible started in 2017 when we got the first 3 female governors elected. We had the Governor Charity Ngilu, my mentor, the Governor late Joyce Laboso, may her soul continue to rest in peace, and Governor, Chair of the Council of Governors, Governor Anne Mombi Waiguru. And so I want to thank those 3 great women because you made it possible for us to join you. And I want to particularly thank Anne Waiguru, who is my next door neighbor, because, Your Excellency, when I was campaigning, part of the reason the people of Embu County voted for me was because of the good news they were hearing from Kirinyaga. And because of her, the people of Embu believed a woman can deliver. Thank you, my sister, for making it possible for me to campaign easier and to give an example of you as my next door neighbor. That's the impact of female leadership on other women. When you do well, you affect the next woman and the next woman and the next woman. Your Excellency, I'm proud to say that of the 7 female governors, 4 were elected under the UDA party. The party, the ruling party, and the party where I am chair. And the reason I'm saying that
is because it takes the conscious effort of a party, of the leadership of the party, to get women elected. Your Excellency, let me take this opportunity to thank you. On behalf of all the women from UDA standing here before you, to say thank you, because you went out of your way to give us the support we needed to be able to win. And let me tell these ladies that the biggest mentor we had in our team was His Excellency the President. And I'll give you a very short story of less than a minute. When we were going to the nominations, we were very scared as a women, running in single-member constituencies and running as senators or running as governors. One, we wanted to be assured that the nominations would be free and fair. And we didn't believe, out of experience, that we would get that fairness. So we called our party leader, His Excellency, and told him we want to meet him as the women. And we met him at a hotel late in the night because we had come from campaigns, and he was very tired, but he came. And we were all in a state of panic. Tunasikia tunapangiwa na hawa wanaume, Your Excellency. Sisi, tuambie kama you'll protect us and ensure we have free and fair nominations. And that is what he ensured happened, that we had free and fair nominations in the UDA party. But on that same day, he did something very interesting. He told us, I want to advise you ladies, because we had been going around campaigning, and he had this ladder he had created where we used to climb. Before, we used to climb on the bonnet of his car to speak to the masses. And it was the most gender difficult platform for us. And so when he saw we were struggling, because sometimes we had to be pushed up by the men, he created a ladder where we went up the staircase and stood up there. And he did it for the women. But on that day, he said, you know, I have now created that ladder mahali munaeza enda juu pole pole, lakini wear long dresses and wear rubbers. Toeni hizo long heels zenu muachane nazo, tuko ground sasa, tutafute nini? Kura. And then I remember even went further and said, na uko ndani ya hiyo nguo, vaa baika ama long. And you know, I don't know whether he knows what that meant for us. Because it meant then he's thinking very, very deeply about ensuring we have an enabling environment to do our campaigns. So, Your Excellency, thank you very much. We wore the bikers, we wore the rubbers, and we are here today. And so we will continue to wear them. But for now, we want to deliver. I want to kindly request Your Excellency, the same way you held our hand before elections, the same way you have held our hand in the last 1 year. I know sometimes you get pressure from men asking you, kwa nini kila wakati tunakuona umeenda Nakuru? Kwa nini unaenda Homa Bay? Kwa nini unaenda Kirinyaga? Kwa nini unaenda Embu? Kwa nini unaenda Machakos? Keep coming to our counties, because that's the only way we will come up. May God bless you, and may I take this opportunity to kindly request champion number 1, my brother Kimani Ichung'wah, the 2/3 gender rule. Under the NADCO discussions, we approved the work of our great CS, Aisha Jumwa, who's done an amazing job. Please clap for her. Please, please, my brother Kimani Ichung'wah, support us. Make sure we deliver the 2/3 gender rule under your watch, and we'll be very, very happy. Finally, you're all welcome to Embu County tomorrow for the celebration of the International Women's Day tomorrow. Thank you very much.
God is good. God is good. And all the time. Wamama high. That's a bit low. Wamama high. Your Excellency, I'm really so excited to be here this morning. And for me today, I'll just speak a little bit about how when we have somebody like His Excellency, who is the party leader, who is a party leader and now the president, obviously, but back then when we were running, who was our leader, who supports truly, not just in word, but in action, what that means in making sure that more women get elected, more women get nominated, more women are appointed to different positions, because that's the only way that we can have many numbers and eventually get to the top. Very quick story, Your Excellency. Let me tell them. His Excellency was that one big brother, like you had say to us. So some of us woke up and decided we wanted to run for governor. At the time, other than my very good supporting cast here, Kimani Ishongo and others, many people look at you, and you know, I tell these colleagues of mine, my sisters here, I say, you know, for me, people look at me, they're like, she's a small girl, you know. You get, you know, so sometimes, you know, let me tell you an example. There's a time when I first started into politics, I've always been small by nature. And then I wanted to run for MP. And my dear mother gave me her driver to take me because I was new in the country and I didn't quite know the boundaries. So I walk with this driver, he's big and me, I'm small, and we walk into a room and everybody say, Mheshimiwa, Mheshimiwa, to my driver now. I mean, so it's always been that kind of thing. But this is what I wanted to say when I say that. His Excellency, the President, made sure that he wanted to really help us until we got to the finishing line. So every month or so, we would do polling, Your Excellency. Let me just reveal that a bit, so they know what it takes. We would do polling in our areas, and you would have your numbers projected, how you are doing, and we are in a room full of people. You know, where people sometimes look, everybody looks down, they don't want to look at your face, because now you're trailing this week. And one day, His Excellency told me, Susan, I don't want to see you in Nairobi again. Go to the ground and live there. And he told me, you buy rubbers, and if you don't know where to buy rubbers, I will buy for you. So even today, when I woke up and wore my heel, Your Excellency, I just wanted to tell you that by you making me buy rubbers and stay in that county, I was able to finally deliver. But saying all that to say, you really are so supportive that I wish and I pray that everybody around us, all of us women here who want to run, can get that kind of support. And I want to say that we, even as we begin this G7 and now to G24, and I'll reverse myself there on the G16, I pray that for you sisters, whose hands you want held, that we shall be up to this task as we work hard at retaining our seats, because we also can't increase by reducing our numbers, other than our governor here who will go a bit further up because she's a second-termer. I just want to tell you, my sisters like Mokami who are here, Haika, you know your governor is a second-term governor. Haika, wale wote wanataka kusimama. Ni wengine wangapi before I get beat up? There are many. They are there, over there, my sister there, deputy governor now. So there are so many. So we want to tell you that here you have a sisterhood. People who have been through what you will go through, because it's not easy. It is, by the way, when we say the president has really been there for us, Your Excellency, allow me just to embarrass myself a bit here today. Many times we would go, personally, you see me as a strong woman, but I cry a lot. I think, Anne, you also do too. There's a few of us who cry often. So every time we have issues, we go to the boy, he doesn't know how to deal with us when we are crying. So he just helps us. And what I'm trying to say is, do not be embarrassed to be a woman, because that is who you are. Don't tell yourself that you have to be this hard man. Like my brother Sakaja said, be yourself, be authentic, and once you get the position, do not forget that the reason God put us here, because I believe, it is so that we can take care of those women in Mashinani, especially. So that we can make sure, so we can take care of those girls who don't go to school, or those who get impregnated when in school, and those who are not able to access health care, and those women who need water. And thank you, Your Excellency, for the markets that you have brought. For me, I'm so excited because we campaigned saying that that our women will be able to do their jobs in an environment that has dignity. Now we can have markets that have water, that have lighting, that have toilets, that have lockers, and that is because of you, Your Excellency. So for us women, as I finish, we are very clear, we must deliver so that we can make sure we don't knock the ladder down, but instead lift others to come join us at the G24. So now as I finish, because I did start a very small tagline there, let me redo it. So when I say G7, it's G24. Sawa. G7 to G24, sorry. So G7 to? Higher, 1, 2, 3. G7 to G24. Thank you all so much. Thank you, Your Excellency. Thank you, everybody. And thank you for the support. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya, Madam CS, fellow governors, Majority Leader, National Assembly, all protocol observed. Good morning. It's my pleasure to be here today, and I must say I appreciate His Excellency, the President. He came to Kwale several times to campaign for me. And here I am, the first female governor, Muslim governor in the country. Thank you very much, Your Excellency, for supporting the women of this country. And I want to assure the people in this room, we are delivering on the promises of devolution. And we're already in Kwale, by empowering women, financial empowerment, I've given tenders to around 20 women groups, women company groups. So devolution is working. As female governors, we want to assure you, come 2027, we are there. For Honorable Laika to become a governor, I have to deliver in Kwale, because she is my neighbor. I have to deliver. And I want to assure you, we are going to deliver as female governors. As it is, we are on the ground. You will see us all the time on the ground because we want to relate with the people. We value a lot public participation. So I want to assure Your Excellency, I want to assure you, come 2027, it will be 24 plus female governors. Because we are delivering on issues devolution. When you talk of health, we've done dispensaries and health facilities. We've taken services closer to the people. We are issuing bursaries to everybody. We are making sure even those who got pregnant early young mothers, we are taking them back to school. So we want to assure you, come 2027, Your Excellency, continue supporting women and we will not disappoint you. Thank you very much. May God bless us all.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya, William Samoei Ruto, my fellow governors, na Wakenya wote, amjambo. Amjambo tena. Bwana Yesu asifiwe. Asifiwe tena. Assalamu alaikum. Your Excellency, we are here today to launch the G7 ya kina mama wale walichaguliwa kama magavana. Kuchaguliwa mama kama gavana sio kitu rahisi. Some of us tried for 10 good years to be governors. Na tukiangalia kaunti zote, Your Excellency, ukiangalia Machakos, Senator ni mama, Governor ni mama, Women Rep that is there, Speaker ni mama, Commissioner ni mama, Presiding Judge ni mama. Ukiangalia hata ma-OSPD, Machakos ni ya wamama. By the way, kama mnataka kubenchmark, Mali iko wamama, kujeni Machakos. Kutoka governor mpaka hata OCS. Machakos kuko na wamama na wamama wanafanya kazi. Na ndio mnasikia Machakos kuna amani sana. Vile ningependa kusema kama parties, vyama waangalie, na mimi nashukuru sana kama chama yetu ya Wiper imejaribu, UDA imejaribu, ODM imejaribu. Wananiambia niseme UDA imefanya. Kile tungeomba sasa ni kulete wakina mama katika vyama na kuwapatia vyo katika vyama. Mnajua mkitupatia kazi sisi kama kina mama, as we are always there to deliver. Kwa sababu ile kazi tuko nayo, sisi ni kazi ya kufanyia wa Kenya na ile ingine ni kazi ya nyumbani kwetu. Sisi hatuna mambo mingi. Kazi ni mbili, kwa hivyo akina mama wakisapotiwa tutaweza kuendelea vizuri. And we will support women empowerment in economics, social and political sphere. Na tukifanya hivyo sisi wote pamoja tutaweza kuendelea. We will also, we as G7 and even our political parties and our president here, we will promote policies that will drive women inclusion in business, education, and leadership education. We are not just looking at politics. We have to look at business, education, and leadership opportunities. Tukiweka kina mama kwa hiyo mikakati yote, tutaweza kuendelea vizuri. Na nimalizie na kusema, never apologize for being a woman. And a powerful woman. Each time a woman stands up for herself, she stands up for all the women. Embrace confidence whenever you go. A confident woman is a beautiful woman. Asante sana, Mheshimiwa Rais. Nikimalizia, you know we have unfinished business with you in Machakos. We have unfinished business and we have to deal with that business. Ndio Kenya iweze kufanya nini? Kusonga. Asanteni sana, Mwenyezi Mungu awabariki.
Daktari, rais wetu tunayependa sana, Excellency Governors, Governor Sakaja ambaye ametuhost siku ya leo, viongozi wote, hamjambo. Your Excellency, kwa hawa mama wote ambao unaona hapa mbele, I'm the only governor ambaye alipewa nafasi ya uongozi akiwa independent candidate. And coming from Meru, it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy. Napenda kukushukuru sana rais wetu. When you came to Meru to campaign for your UDA candidate, because you have a soft spot kwa wamama, au kunigonga. You are so kind to women, and we really appreciate you kama kina mama. Napenda kukupongeza rais wetu. Hata kama mimi ni independent governor, your support imekuwa kubwa sana kwangu, especially Meru County. Governor ni mama, as they say, uko Meru, tumeona mambo mengi. And that's why I want to encourage every lady here, ama mama ambaye anataka kutafuta uongozi, the journey is not so easy. It's not so easy. Lazima uwe prepared psychologically, lazima prepare your family, because the journey is a bit tough. For me as a governor in Meru, rais nakushukuru kwa sababu ya maombi yako ambayo umeniombea. You know I've been impeached thrice, mara 3. Mara ya kwanza koti kakataa na mimi. Mara ya pili Senate ikanirudisha nyumbani. Mara ya 3 Senate ikanirudisha nyumbani. na kwa hiyo safari yote rais umekuwa ukiniombea. You must be tough kwa hii safari. Na kwa safari ya ugavana kina mama, because we are here even to encourage those who want to aspire as governors, lazima tufanye kazi. Lazima tufanye kazi. Na kazi ndio imenisaidia mimi kama mama kutoka Meru nipewe nafasi ya uongozi. Nataka kuambia kina mama siku ya leo, because we started a journey from G7 to over G24, that we must work hard and at the same time tuangaze kazi ambazo tunafanya mashinani. We cannot be given positions just for the sake of, because we are women. Lazima tufanye kazi na kazi ionekane. I always tell leaders that any good job that we do, minus marketing, minus publicity, it's like winking to a beautiful girl in darkness. So we must work hard na tuangaze ile kazi yote tunafanya, watu watujue kama kina mama na watupee nafasi ya uongozi. I wish you well, kina mama wote. Asante rais kwa sababu ya nafasi ya kutupatia nafasi ya kuonekana Kenya mzima ya kwamba kina mama wanaweza. God bless you, God bless you, God bless you.
Thank you very much. I may now request my colleagues to take their seats. Makofi kwao tafadhali. I would like to give this opportunity to the Vice Chair of KEWOPA not to give a speech, but to recognize the members of Parliament who are here, who will just stand up and you can recognize. Kindly do the same for both the members of Parliament and the members of Senate. Honorable Beatrice Elachi.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya, riding on all protocols observed, I would wish to just request my fellow colleagues to just stand both from Senate and National Assembly. So I'll start from behind there. I can see our sister nominated in the National Assembly, Irene Mayaka. I can see my woman rep from West Pokot. I can see Senator Miraj. Susan from Tharaka Nithi, woman rep. Senator, our SG and former SG, Veronica. Nominated Senator Gloria. My woman rep from Nyeri, who stands in for my mother, Mukami. Our woman rep, Taita Taveta Haika. Senator nominated, Senator Muma. Good. We have Ndonyo from Kisii, our woman rep. We have our commissioner, Mishi, and I think that is the team that has joined us. Oh yes, the woman rep of Nyamira, Jerusha. And we have our woman rep from Homa Bay, Ben Suda. We have the woman rep of Vihiga, Beatrice Atagala. We want to appreciate you and to really thank you as the G7 that we shall ride on you. May God bless you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Vice Chair of KEWOPA. I would like to take this opportunity to recognize all the PSs present. If you just rise up and wave. I am told you're quite a number. I may not know you by name, but feel welcome. Welcome and thank you for honoring us. I would also like to request all the members of the County Assembly, MCAs from the various counties, to kindly stand up and wave, and I think they make the majority of the teams here. Kindly clap for them. Thank you very much. And finally, I would like to recognize the deputy governors, female deputy governors who are here. I think the ones who are here are female, not that I'm leaving out the men. And I will just call your name and you wave. Her Excellency Dr. Yulita Mitei from Nandi, Excellency Lucy Mulili from Makueni, Excellency Jennifer Batiani from Bungoma, Excellency Christine Kilalo, Taita Taveta, Excellency Philomena Kapkori, Trans Nzoia, Excellency Professor Grace Cheserek, Elgeyo Marakwet, Excellency Flora Chibule, Kilifi, and Excellency Rosemary Kirika from Kiambu. We recognize you and feel at home, and thank you for coming. Your Excellency, I know time is gone, and I will be very brief. Excellency Governors, Cabinet Secretaries, Ambassadors, Honorable Members of Parliament, Majority Leader of Parliament, members of the Diplomatic Corps, private sector, civil society, all the distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning again. Last week in Homa Bay, I shared a quote from the Luo community that said, "Arung dako kileng," which meant a woman's throw never misses its target. And today, as women governors, the women parliamentarians and MCAs in this room, and all the leaders, we promise not to miss this throw for the Kenyan women. Welcome to the G7 strategy launch. We're here to revolutionize women political participation in leadership in Kenya. I am elated and eager to contribute to this historic journey that will inspire many women in Kenya to offer themselves to compete and take up leadership positions at the highest levels possible. Ladies and gentlemen, gender equality and women's empowerment is both a moral cause and an economic necessity. Women's active participation in public and political platforms builds resilient democracies, ensures political stability, promotes sustainable development, and will achieve the desired economic progress. Let us journey back together to 2013, when not a single female governor was elected in that election. A marginal improvement was recorded in 2017, where 3 women were elected as governors. We unfortunately lost one of our sisters, the indomitable Her Excellency, the late Dr. Joyce Laboso. May her soul continue resting in peace. And at this moment, I would like us to bow down and take a moment of silence in her honor. Thank you. Today, the G7 reflects progress in women's political leadership as CEOs of county governments. Ladies and gentlemen, the G7 strategy is designed to accelerate equal and inclusive representation in decision-making and to model efficiency and accountable governance, as my colleagues have said. The strategy aims to showcase this transformative leadership we strive to deliver on the promise of devolution, while serving as a positive example to younger women or older women seeking access to leadership. The strategy also embodies the values of collaboration. I'm sure you have seen, when you look at us, you can tell that we are friends. We meet, even when we are not at work. We share. I saw some people looking very shocked when they heard that some of us cry. Sometimes it gets very tough because we balance both family, we balance personal lives, and we also have to do official work. We pull together collaboration. We also have accountability, inclusivity, equality, and empowerment that define Women Governors Caucus and that exemplifies transformative leadership. We share lessons. We learn from each other. I learn from Gladys Wanga, even if she's 1 year old. They learn from me. I learn from Susan. Everybody has something to give one another. And we sit down and say, how did you do that? Let's share your plans with me. Can I have that so that I don't have to start from the beginning? And we hold each other's hands, hoping that this will showcase women leadership to be exemplary and therefore motivate many other people to elect women leaders. Our goal is to increase the number of women governors from the current G7. It's not just a story. We're not just sitting here having this conversation and then going back to our homes. We have a strategy cut out for the next 3 years. For those of us who will not be running for a third term, because I'm not allowed by the Constitution, I will be dedicating my time to campaign for women potential governors who have been chosen by their respective parties, to work with them, develop strategies for reaching out on the ground to ensure that we actually increase this number. We will be, all of us, in New York in the next 2 weeks, fundraising for support and getting technical support as well for each of the counties and also for the counties that have potential women leaders. So how do we achieve this increased number in the next election? One of the biggest issues will be mentorship. It is incredible to be surrounded by many smart, dedicated women who are changing the landscape of leadership. And all of us will be giving our time, even as we run for office a second time, to mentor others who are coming up. I would like to just share one thing that I learned from Governor Ngilu. It's something very basic, but I came from technocrats. I did not know anything about politics. I had no clue about politics. I just went in there. And I remember when we were going around campaigning for women and 2/3 gender, one day we were in Kakamega, I think, and we were sitting, and of course, because I was amongst the youngest politicians, so to speak, I was still very conscious, and I think even Wanga was there. We were trying to find seats. And I had managed to find a seat because I came very early. Being a technocrat, you know, you're told 8, you are 8 seated. So I had a seat. But some other men came, big men, powerful men. And so I was very intimidated, and I was a governor, mind you. I stood up to give a seat to a man. I'll never forget Governor Ngilu. She dragged me back down and told me, never ever give up your seat for a man. Governor Ngilu, I learned my lesson. I have never again given my seats to a man. So one lesson I learned from Ngilu, very basic. She told me, never ever. How can you do that, you know? And I realized I'm a leader, an equal leader, just like the rest of them. But because they make you feel they've come with a lot of support, you know, we don't come like the women do, at least none of us do that. We don't have like 7, 8 bodyguards pushing everybody around. If you come, I don't use a front car. Is it called lead car and sirens? And I don't think any of the women governors do those things. So it's very easily that when the others who come can easily intimidate you, even when you're at peer level. But we are saying we want to show a different kind of leadership. We want to show a leadership that has an impact on the ground. We want to show why devolution actually happened, that women can lead and can deliver. And this is not a threat to the men. For me, who is the chair of the council, they know I beseech the second-term governors, please, second-term governors, support women candidates, because you're not running again. And there are women candidates who can make it in every county, we believe. It is our duty to encourage more women to aspire to political leadership, and not just political leadership, as Governor Sakaja has said, but also leadership in general. We will be localizing this strategy, starting with the 7 counties. We are going down, and also now the counties which have women deputy governors kindly volunteer to work on localization, and where we have women potential. Your Excellency, I personally am looking forward to the day, and my colleagues know this. I'm looking forward to the day, Your Excellency, I will say like Sakaja after your term, that this country will have more than one, maybe two women or three women presidential candidates competing against each other. Inawezekana haiwezekani? Inawezekana haiwezekani? Amongst these women here, they come from different political parties. Why not? Men compete against each other. We saw President William Samoei Ruto competing with another in not so long a time in the future. We are hoping that from G7 to G24 to even higher, not just deputy, prime minister, but presidents, there will be a time, like one country I know in Europe, where this issue of handshake will be between, Governor Ngilu, it will be between women leaders. A presidential candidate woman who has won in Kenya, and a leader of opposition who's a woman who lost. And it can happen in Kenya. But we have to see it, we have to believe it. And we're not saying it because women are just women. We're saying it because any woman who has aspired and has risen to the position of governor or leadership in the National Assembly, that woman can aspire to lead this country. We don't know where that will come from, but it is my belief, and I look forward to a day when that will happen. And I will say, like Sakaja, I support my president, yake ni 10 straight. Hiyo tulisema, si ndio? Lakini tumemwambia akitoka tu hivi, hatumpatii promise ya mtu mwingine. Tutakutana kule, kina mama watakuwa wamejipanga sawa sawa. Your Excellency, wamama hai, wamama mpo, mnaweza ya mwezi, mtajipanga ama mtajipanga? Tunaambia President William Ruto 10 straight, si ndio? Hiyo hatuongei. Lakini tukitoka tu hivi, Your Excellency, tafadhali hivyo umetushikilia mkono, we are looking up to you. We are hoping that up there shall be competition. Many of these women will present themselves, and may the best woman at that time win. Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, as I conclude, I leave you with the contemplative words of trailblazer Margaret Mead. She said this. She said, "Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Never doubt. Indeed, it's the only thing that ever has changed the world." So never doubt that a small group of 7 women governors who are thoughtful, committed, capable, inspired, dedicated, intelligent, beautiful, hardworking, and an example and role model to many, never doubt that those 7 female governors can change the Republic of Kenya and indeed the world. As you've heard, indeed, it's the only thing that ever has. May those who participate in the advancement of women in leadership agenda and the G7 members transform this nation. Asanteni sana. And now, it is my singular duty and honor to invite our role model, our president, our party leader for those of us who are in UDA, His Excellency William Samoei Ruto, PhD, to address this gathering. Tumkaribishe na makofi tafadhali.
Tafadhali tuketi. Asanteni sana. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Your Excellencies, governors who are present here, led by the Chair of the Council of Governors, Madam Anne Waiguru, CS Aisha Jumwa, Principal Secretaries present here, and women leaders Good morning. Hamjambo. It is a wonderful morning for us, and for me specifically, to be here this morning to participate in this very important event. Our nation's quest for prosperity has been hampered by fundamental inclusivity deficit, which is a consequence of chronic unresolved marginalization on regional, ethnic, socioeconomic, and gender basis. We have resolved as a people to implement a bottom-up economic transformation agenda, not only to address these shortcomings, but also to build a nationwide, all of society, multidisciplinary, multi-sectoral, grassroots to capital coalition of Kenya's women and men, both young and old, and of all walks of life, to make up for lost time and to deliver shared prosperity within our generation. And that is why I purposely came for this event, because it speaks to the heart of what we need to do together as a people. Kenya has been making steady progress in many sectors for many decades now. However, the rate of progress has always remained behind the levels of poverty and inequality, making sustainable development and inclusive growth an elusive target for the majority. There are a number of underlying structural causes of this state of affairs. The least appreciated of these structural hindrances is almost the most obvious. As a nation, we do not have all hands on deck, and for 6 decades have locked a significant part of our population from contributing to and benefiting from economic growth and national development. As a result, the opportunities we have denied ourselves are vast. The cost of this persistent and systemic omission is huge, and the negative impact on the people, especially the most vulnerable, is immense. It is clear that a truly inclusive economy would be at least twice as productive, meaning that we would have exceeded our most ambitious development projections long time ago. We can accelerate our progress to become an industrialized, high-income economy by radically enhancing the inclusion and participation of women in leadership. And speaking about women and participation in our country, even when we speak even about politics alone, despite that we have few women elected, majority of voters in Kenya are women. So there is no doubt as to whether women participate in politics or not, because they do. But now it is time for us to move it a notch higher, that women should not only participate in terms of being voters, they should participate in terms of being candidates and in being elected as leaders. And it is not just politically correct to say we should have women leaders. It is the constitutional thing to do, and it is the moral imperative that we must aspire to achieve. And therefore, when I was requested by these great ladies to participate in this launch of G7, the great 7 women governor leaders in Kenya, I thought it was a good place for me to come and ask us as a nation to recognize the participation of women. And none of us, no man, however prejudiced they are, did not come from a womb of a mother. We may be whatever we are, we may be strong, we may be opinionated, we may even have issues of prejudice. But the basic fact is that we were born by women. So just that recognition alone should give us the courage and the inspiration to support women in Kenya. And therefore, I have listened to the women leaders from my side of the political divide, and they have given an account and almost reduced this function to a function of UDA and Kenya Kwanza. But it is because they know that it takes courage, it takes a lot of support to get matters gender appreciated by our society now. But let me encourage you that what the women governors are doing, they are doing more campaign than any campaign can be done. In the good job they are doing in their counties, they are not only inspiring other women to be leaders, but they are making it easier for the country to elect women the next time round. So, Your Excellencies, governors who are women in our midst, you owe it to the women of Kenya to shine. Because in you shining, you encourage the country to vote for more women. And I am very proud of these women, great leaders. Anne Waiguru seated here. My dear sister says, Barire, who is here, Gladys Wanga, Susan Kehika, Fatuma Achani, and Kawira Mwangaza, and of course, Wavinya Ndeti. These women, and allow me to say that, have demonstrated great integrity, understanding of what they need to do. And I have always gone out of my way to facilitate them, to support them whenever I can. And I want to promise that that is going to continue. That is going to continue. I know that some of the accounts they have given, let me say three things. Number one, women are very reliable. When I ran into political turbulence as deputy president, more women stood by me than men in my team. And that is a fact. In the last election, for some reason, more women voted for me than men. And therefore, supporting women is the easiest thing for me. Of course, apart from the fact that in my family, I have more women family members than men. But I know sometimes I have, whenever I speak to the leaders in my corner, sometimes in the process of mentorship, you have to tell them some hard facts. I remember Susan, one time I called her and I told her, listen, Susan, I am listening to you and you are not persuasive. You know? I want you to rehearse your text. Don't leave home before you know what you're going to say in a political rally. You know, even if it means you have to cram 3 things. Say something about agriculture. I had to take her through lessons, this girl, because I really wanted her to succeed. And forgive me, Susan, I was hard sometimes on you. Another time I called her and I told her, I don't want to see you in Nairobi. You must go and sit at the village. You know, those things of robbers. I told her, she must put on wrappers. And sometimes I know women, they want to look beautiful, they want to put on a skirt that is... So these ones, I told them, look, this is not the time to look beautiful. You know, put on a long dress because this place is chaotic. You know, put on a long dress, put on whatever those things they say, I don't want to say. And it was all because we wanted to succeed, right? I must also say that women have also changed my perspective. Let me give you two examples. Anne Waiguru, when we had a time in our politics, in the side of the politics we were, and it was time to make very difficult decisions, whether to go this way or to remain that way. And among the people who made decisions that, confirmed to me that women are brave is the decision Waiguru made to join our team. When she joined our team, I could not believe it because everybody believed she would be on the other side. And it took a lot of courage, Same thing with my dear sister, Ses Mbarire. It was obvious to everybody that she would be on the other side. But when she made the decision to say, this is where I'm standing because this is where I believe the people are, she stood out as a great leader. So all these great ladies are the epitome, as has been said here, of great leadership. And we want to work with you, and we will do the best that we can to make sure that women leadership succeeds so that we can use it to rally the rest of our population to appreciate that for Kenya to make steps into the future, we cannot do it with half our population that are men. We must do it together with everybody on board. That's why the bottom-up economic transformation agenda identifies working conditions, including unpaid care work, exclusion from decision-making, risk of gender-based violence, low access to adequate health care, vulnerability to the effects of pollution, environmental degradation and climate change, as well as early marriages and childhood pregnancies as contributing factors to minimal participation of women in key sectors of our economy. Yesterday, as I supported First Lady, I took time to see the plan that her office has. And one of the agendas that I agreed with her to concentrate on is the agenda of children. Because we have a very serious problem around children in Kenya. And there is some sad statistics out there. And I'm happy that I'm speaking to women leaders. The subject of early pregnancies. Statistics show that Kenya, in the world, is the second highest in the world where early pregnancies happen. This is our country in the world. Again, all the subjects around early marriages going into FGM. So, I am asking women leaders, as I do men leaders, to work in concert, all of us, to protect our children, especially from FGM, early marriages, and early pregnancies, because it is destroying the future of many of our children. So as I went through with the staff of the First Lady what it is that they want to do and how government can support to raise the bar, to raise the profile of the challenge that we have in that space, I thought about these women leaders who are here. Please take it upon yourselves, as you do the many things, to also work with us in making sure that we protect our children, especially our girls. I know we have set targets for ourselves, especially on the subject of FGM. I want to tell men to stand, to come forward and protect our women from FGM, even if it is for selfish reasons. You know, FGM destroys women and makes them less confident, less effective, and creates many challenges around it. Men should know, in fact, men should be champions against FGM. Because you know what it is. FGM destroys everything that would be good in a woman. So, and I am saying this to the men here, you know, because even if it is for selfish reasons, because we are the ones who enjoy when I mean, so, and especially the women who come from the counties that have prevalence of this challenge, please, let's go out of our way. And therefore, we made a commitment to the people of Kenya to accelerate interventions to actualize the constitutional gender inclusion threshold and pursue radical imaginative strategies towards this end, and to significantly enhance financial inclusion of women, among other efforts. And let me say this. When I did a memorandum to Parliament, I did not do it for political correctness. It is because I had made a commitment to the women in Kenya Kwanza that we would finally do something about this 2/3 gender rule. And it has been a back and forth for now over 10 years. I want to commit to the women of Kenya that this time round, we will make sure that the 2/3 gender rule is attained. And the exercise that is going on in Parliament, the NADCO report, now includes what Aisha Juma and her team have been doing. And the commitment I made is that for the 290 seats, at the very minimum, we must have at least 1/3 being women. Now, I know there is a lot of calculus and mathematics and interpretations and what, but in the bill that is going to go to Parliament, we will make sure that at least more women, and hopefully we can do this by next year, more women get to leadership in Parliament. And my instructions are very clear to Kimani Ichung'wah, who is the leader of majority in the National Assembly, and the PG of our Kenya Kwanza team, that will be the official position of the party. And we have talked to many leaders, especially men. And I can tell you, ladies, for the first time, I see that men are committed to making sure that this time round, we succeed in actualizing the 2/3 gender rule in the frame that we have set. And I want to ask women leaders, I know you may want higher numbers, but we can do it, you know, we can do it progressively. Let us get what we think is attainable now. You guys know what you need to do. We can then take it to the next level, and then take it to the next level, and finally get it to 50-50. Let me also say the following. Cecily Mbarire is the chair of UDA, not by default. It is deliberate and it is intentional. And one of the assignments she has is that we must, as a party, lead from the front, and we must make it in the rules, Madam Cecily Mbarire, that when Rigiji and myself tukifika hapo mbele na tumepangana, tumekubaliana vile itaenda, we must also agree that going forward, if a man is a candidate for president in our party, the woman must be the runner. And if a woman is the candidate, then a man can be a running mate. Okay? And we must also cascade it down to the governors. So, and we must be intentional and deliberate about it, otherwise it will never happen. And I know fellow party leaders in other parties will agree with us, because we all agree, because I'm sure the party leader in Wiper supported Wavinya, the party leader in ODM supported Gladys, and all the other party leaders supported their women candidates. So we will do this not because we want to do anything against men, but we want to balance so that we all move together. And Madam says, as you undertake that exercise, you will have my 100% support. And I know Governor Sakaja and my good friend Kimani Ichung'wah will also be supportive of that exercise. Much progress has been made, especially with regard to financial inclusion, with women remaining consistent in the uptake of various financial inclusion facilities and affirmative action funds. Out of the 21 million Kenyans who have borrowed from the Hustler Fund today, 10.1 million are women, constituting 48% of the fund's beneficiaries. Out of this, 8.8 million women have borrowed a total of 23 billion of the total of 47 billion already lent. And let me say that the average age of women accessing the Hustler Fund is 35, compared to 39 for men. So more women, more younger women are more conscious, you know, about what they need to do. And therefore, the mentorship that has been going on. And let me say something very deliberate here. Charity Ngilu occupies a very special place in our country. She is the first woman to dare to run for president, you know, materially. And she's been a great inspiration. I must say this. Charity is many times very hard on me. But I must say this about her, that she is a great inspiration to many women, not in her party, to many women across Kenya. You know, her daring spirit has inspired many of these women who are today leaders in Kenya. I want to ask those of you who are leaders today, please, the mentorship that Charity gave you, please mentor others by demonstrating great leadership going into the future. and we are going to stand together to work with you. The last election proved to be a transformational watershed in women's participation in political leadership. As a result, the number of women in each category of elective leadership grew, with the greatest leap being in the number of counties which elected female governors. Kwale here, Fatuma Chani, Machakos there, Wavinya Ndeti, Kirinyaga, Anne Waiguru, Embu, Cecily Mbarire, Meru, Kawira Mwangaza, Nakuru, Susan Kehika, and of course, Homa Bay, our Gladys Wanga. And I am very confident that the governor's seat, we should be able to attain the parity benchmark much more faster than in all the other seats. And therefore, I support, because it is true, these women governors have demonstrated great leadership. In fact, better than the men. And if there is a place, it is always said, and I'm sorry, Sakaja, it is always said, you're a great leader in Nairobi, I must say that. But let me say this. It is always said, what men can do, women can do better. If there is a demonstration of that belief that what men can do, women can do better, it is in the governor's position occupied by these women. They have demonstrated that certainly women leadership as governors have done much more than what their male counterparts have done. These leaders, they have stepped up as models of transformative leadership, advocates of women inclusion, and champions of leadership of devolution and good governance. I like what Wanga said, that they want to stand on the platform of integrity. They want it to be known that women leaders project, believe in, and are profiled as women who are of good standing, incorruptible, passionate, and that is what we all want to see in our women. These leaders, they have resolved to leverage their unique and historic position as pioneers to pave the way for even greater numbers of women in key leadership roles by intentionally using their leadership to mobilize positive public attitudes to women leadership. In so doing, they have lived up to the ideals of bipartisanship and coordinated their endeavors in the best spirit of inclusivity to actualize the values and principles of devolution, gender equality, inclusive and transformative actions. It is through such inspired and principled actions that the spirit of our Constitution is brought to life to catalyze national transformation. This is why I'm delighted to join you at the launch of the G7 strategy to expand women leadership in devolved units and amplify the transformative impact of inclusion on socio-economic development, governance, representation, and institutional growth and development. I am persuaded that the G7 represents a superior proposition in promoting the inclusion of women generally and in leadership specifically. It also provides an alternative pathway towards the sustainable realization of the two-thirds gender rule inclusion. The leadership of the G7 affirms our faith in the promise of the bottom-up economic transformation for shared prosperity through inclusion and have made an irrefutable and irresistible case for the urgent attainment of the gender parity as an idea whose time has come. I am very proud to associate myself with the G7 strategy for the Women Governors Caucus and pledge the government's full support for it. Let me repeat, I pledge the government's full support. Let us therefore stand shoulder to shoulder in solidarity and equality face forward with confidence and lead this nation to a prosperous future where no one is left out and no one is left behind. The G7 strategy is a great one, especially coming in the backdrop of what we will be doing tomorrow in Embu. And I will be early, says. I know you are our host. We will be there tomorrow morning to celebrate women in our country and leadership of women in our country. The G7 strategy, therefore, is officially launched. God bless you and God bless Kenya. Asanteni sana na mubarikiwe. Thank you.
Thank you. A round of applause for His Excellency. And with your permission, Your Excellency, we have now the official launch that's going to be taking place. Allow me to now invite the G7, the 7 governors, to join His Excellency as we now officially launch the G7 strategy beginning here. So allow me to count you down. Your Excellency will ask you to press the buzzer. I'll count down from 5. The ladies can stand there behind. PS Devolution as well, and CS Aisha Juma. So I'll count down from 5 so that we can press it down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we now have the strategy, G7 strategy officially launched. Your this wonderful day by His Excellency, the President of this great nation, Dr. William Samoei Ruto. And as that is going on, Your Excellency, you'll receive the strategy document. All right, we can put up the pyros. Thank you. Your Excellency, with your permission, we'll also, if we can just clear so that we can have a picture taken as the COG chair presents the strategy document. If we can kindly just clear. Kindly, yes, thank you. We'll present to the 7 governors. Then after that, Your Excellency, I'll seek your indulgence for 3 photographs that we shall take on stage.
It's yours on the
And once you receive your strategic document, I'll request that governors, we proceed to the stage. Please, let's go on stage so that we can take a photo after this. Once you get your document, kindly governors, let's proceed on stage. Let's proceed on stage. Governors, once you've received your document, thank you. Once you've received your document, we proceed on stage. All right, Your Excellency. Your Excellency, if we may now proceed on stage. If we now may proceed on stage, please. If we may proceed on stage, please.
It's yours on the tip.
Your Excellency, we may proceed kindly on stage for the photograph. A photograph with the 7 governors, Your Excellency, kindly. Please, let's take our seats. Kindly, let's take our seats. Let's all take our seats. The first photograph is going to be the G7, the 7 governors. If Madam Charity, we can just 1 second, just stand there so that we have the G7, then you'll join in. Photographers, let me know when you're done. Madam, Your Excellency Charity, you can join in the photo. Join in. CS Aisha, if you can also just prepare to join in. After this photo, we want G7 plus the partners, then the majority leader, governor, and CS gender. So after this, partners, where are you? If we can have the partners who give a speech, kindly, if you can proceed to come on stage. Please come. Partners. Then we have majority leader to also join. Governor Nairobi. Majority leader, Governor Nairobi. PS Devolution, kindly if you can join. PS Devolution. PS Devolution, Madam Terry Mbaika.
It's yours on the
After this, if we can have the DG, the Women Deputy Governors with His Excellency. The Women Deputy Governors with His Excellency. Partners to kindly exit. We want the G7, the 7 governors together with the deputy governor, female deputy governors. The 7 governors with the... And I'll request that we kindly just exit from stage, please. Please, if we can just clear stage so that we have a clear picture. After that, we shall finish with the national anthem. After the gift. All right, thank you. We have a gift for you, Your Excellency, from the governors. The COG chair will present it. If we can kindly have the gift. There is a gift here for His Excellency, presented by the COG chair. And with that, I'll kindly request that we all exit stage and leave His Excellency on stage. All right. Lady MPs, Your Excellency, you know how women can make sure that they get their way. So women MPs, this is the last photo. Women MPs only, the last photo. Then after that, we will all exit stage and all right, let's move back, please. Those of us, let's move back. All right, thank you. Your Excellency will request that you remain on stage. If the rest of us can kindly exit the stage, kindly. Would like to finish with the national anthem. If we can kindly exit stage. Can we kindly exit the stage? We'd like to leave His Excellency. If we can allow His Excellency to remain on stage as we finish with the national anthem. Let us all be upstanding. We will now finish with the national anthem. If there's anybody seated and you're able to stand, please, let's all be upstanding for the national anthem. Let us all remain where we are as we allow His Excellency to exit at his own pleasure. Thank you. Do have yourselves a wonderful rest of the day.
ladies. For everybody who is in the room, kindly do not exit. Wamama tafadhali mchukue viti zenu. We have one more session with our ladies. Kindly do not leave the room. May I please have a microphone, a handheld microphone on stage? Thank you. Wamama tafadhali msiende. Ladies, kindly remain seated in the room.
Hey.